Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Baseline. Thanks for joining me today. Hope everyone is having a great day. Today, we're going to be talking about the big, beautiful lie and how America's tax cuts became a $4 trillion time bomb. So, have you ever wondered why people trust used car salesmen more than Congress these days? No, well, here's a clue. It's called the Big Beautiful Bill. And trust me, it's big, it's beautiful, and it's about to get your wallet while telling you you're welcome at the same time. So stick around, guys, because by the end of this episode, we're going to figure out together how exactly we got here, and more importantly, how to stop getting played by these politicians like a cheap violin every election cycle. So let's get right into it. The big lie. All right. So picture this, everybody. It's 2017. Okay. We have to go back a ways. America's economy is humming like a Tesla on autopilot, smooth, silent, and, mostly thanks to a decade of recovery after the 2008 meltdown. And it's hard to go back that far and remember what happened. But yeah. So then comes a promise, right? I alone can fix problems, and a tax cut that was going to pay for itself and everything else. And spoiler alert, guys, it didn't. Not even close. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, it wasn't close. And now here's the kicker to all this. Those same tax cuts, we're locking them in again. That's right, a tax break encore for the top earners and a trickle-down fairy tale for everyone else. And a big steaming IOU for your kids and your grandkids in their future. So how do we break this down? Well, let's break down the con this way, right? The first lie is tax cuts pay for themselves. They just don't. They never did. Reagan tried it, Bush tried it, Trump doubled down on it, and it's always the same result. Massive deficits, Wall Street parties, and the middle class holding the bag. And it's like eating cake. It's like thinking that, right? Like eating cake burns calories. But if that were true, I'd be an Olympic sprinter by now. So if you want proof, here's a real stat. Okay. So the top 1% banked over 80 cents of every dollar from those cuts. Meanwhile, your average American, they got a couple of $100. Now, if that and a debt bomb nobody wants to diffuse doesn't alert your mind to this, it's crazy. And then we had the COVID cover up, right? And here's where the plot kind of thickens. Remember those COVID checks? Those sweet stimulus payments that showed up in your account when the world went sideways? Well, guess what, guys? Some folks, maybe even your neighbors, they'll swear up and down those came from tax cuts, but in reality, they didn't. And that was borrowed money, printed, and poof, there you go, and dropped into your lap the keep you spending while the economy hit pause thing happens, right? So when someone says, I had more cash under Trump, we really have to analyze the math behind that, because some of that was Uncle Sam on an overdraft binge. The debt ceiling fairy tale, let's talk about the so-called debt ceiling. Now, I love this one, right? Because what they call it, it's a ceiling. So what it ends up actually being is more of a speed bump made of paper mache, actually. So America's debt ceiling is like your mom yelling, hey, last warning for the 55th time, right? We blow through it every year, then fight about it for TV ratings, and then raise it anyways. And we call this fiscal responsibility. Meanwhile, you try that with your credit card company and see what they say. Just go, hey, hi, Visa, just raise my limit, all right? It's stimulating the economy. And see how that works out for you and your credit score. So let's see how that all works out. But in the meanwhile, we have Medicaid, SNAP, and who gets screwed? Okay, so we got $1 trillion tax cut that helps millionaires out, but who pays? What happens when we check the fine print to all this? This new big, beautiful bill says cut Medicaid, which everyone said they would not do, and cut food stamps and add work requirements. We're just making lazy people work. That's what they're saying, right? But here's the reality check to that. Over 90% of Medicaid folks are either kids, seniors, disabled, or already working their tails off. So what are we doing? We're punishing the wrong people again, and the people that can't fight for themselves, to keep the myth alive that your problems are your neighbor's fault, not the system's fault. Oh man, guys. And you know who gets played? It's rural America. They get played along with all the rural folks. MAGA country. You're not off the hook here either. Did you know rural hospitals survive on Medicaid money? Now, cut that. You close hospitals, and guess where you got to drive for your health care now? 200 miles to a city you hate, paying gas you can't afford to see a doctor you can't even get. It's like watching someone set fire to their own barn and then blame the cows. This is why it's so important not to be part of a team or one side. You have to see clearly. Which leads us to the Paul Ryan exit. You guys remember Paul Ryan, Wisconsin's budget boy, the boy wonder? He bailed. And you know why? He called it crazy to slash taxes while cranking up spending. He wasn't wrong. He just had the sense to get out before the check came due. Meanwhile, everyone else just keeps signing the tab like it's an open bar at a wedding. And with $37 trillion in debt, some alarm bell of insanity has to go off. But that's modern monetary theory. So let's spice it up with a little bit of that modern monetary theory. MMT for the economist nerds out there. In short, we print our own money, so we'll never run out of debt. Just numbers on a spreadsheet for right now, right? And it sounds cool, except this thing called inflation and reality and the world of slowly moving off the dollar is king. What happens then? What happens as this all starts to move forward? This whole magic show ends up getting real expensive extremely fast. And the energy shell game, the EVs, the solar, the clean energy, all these great ideas, if your grid can handle it, I don't know, which by the way, it probably can't, not yet at least. So while we pat ourselves on the back for buying Teslas, 75% of that electricity still comes from fossil fuels. But hey, feel good about the sticker on the back, right? Meanwhile, oil giants rake in billions and get subsidies all day long. So we're paying them twice. Is that logic? Because the great salt switcheroo, and here's one for the blue states here now. Salt deductions? Trump tweaked the state and local break, hitting homeowners in New York and California. Big surprise there. Punish the states that didn't vote for him and reward the ones that did. Now, is it politically petty? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But now it's back in play in this bill. And to butter up the same high earnings or the same high earners who cried about losing it, it ends up being the circle of life. So who's laughing now? Who ends up winning from all of this? Well, turns out big corporations get to keep their sweet 21% rate. The top 1% get permanent cuts. Hedge funds still dance around loopholes. And meanwhile, small businesses still fighting. They're still fighting over scraps. The mom and pop shops, that pays full price while the big boys have offshore accountants, while more PhDs than your local university. Is it fair? So I don't know, guys. And this brings us to our next thing, which is the bond market and the red flag that exists there. And here's where it really starts to get real, right? Bond markets are whispering about downgrades. So the translation for that is the people who profit off our debt think we might not pay it back cleanly. So if they're nervous, like I would feel nervous, and I would imagine that you would be feeling nervous too, because when borrowing costs go up, well, your mortgage, your credit card, your student loans, they all feel it, as do we. And all these culture wars that pin us against each other, guys, it's a distraction. While all this is happening, what do we argue about? We argue about gender bathrooms and drag shows and trans athletes. Meanwhile, your grocery bill just doubled. Your hospital might close and your paycheck doesn't stretch past the 20th of the month. It's weird, right? It's like fighting over who left the fridge open while the house is on fire. So the real divide here, here's the real heartbreak of it all, right? The people cheering MAGA and the people yelling tax the rich, they want the same damn thing, right? They want fairness, they want security, a shot at this American dream. But we're so busy hating each other, guys. We forget who's holding the puppet strings. And that brings the reckoning, And look, guys, I'm not here to bum you out for all this time just for kicks, right? I'm here to tell you that the math doesn't lie. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat or what side of the team you're on. I'm not part of a team. I'm telling you, the math doesn't add up. We're adding trillions for breaks for people who don't even need them. And we're cutting lifelines for people that actually do. And every election, they keep promising to fix it. But then the game just keeps going and going. And it seems really rigged unless you see through it. And, we're going to be next unless we don't. So what do? We question, we dig, we vote with our wallets and our voices. And we stop falling for shiny logans like Big Beautiful Bill, because it's a marketing scheme. And this big bill, it's only beautiful for the few. But for the rest of us, we all could deserve a little bit better, right? And we get it by showing up, staying loud, and refusing to eat the same lie twice. But if you get fired up today, then really make an effort to make your voice known. And comment in the comment section below. Do you guys think I'm off about this? Fact check me, of course, every time. Maybe I got something wrong and I need to check myself. So I look forward to your guys' opinion. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching The Baseline. And remember, until the next time we get to be together here, keep your mind sharp, keep your wallet guarded, and your voice ready. Because we're only going to succeed together when we help each other see more clearly, think more deeply, and we all act more wisely together as a team. We can't let them keep having them pin us against each other, because we'll never look behind the curtain, right? Anyway, guys, see you next time. Thanks again for watching, and cheers, everybody.